Hi, it's Jenny from Across the Board Cake Decorating, and today I'm going to show you how to ice a cake with buttercream. First piece of equipment I use is the 789 tip. This tip enables you to get the icing on the cake quite quickly. You do need quite a large piping bag, so either an 18-inch disposable or a 16 to 18-inch reusable bag. If you're going to use a reusable bag, just be aware that when you've trimmed it to fit this tip, it won't fit any other tip, so it will be your bag just for that tip. So you just go about popping the icing on the surface as you go. I do try and start and stop in a different location each time, just so you don't get a build-up of icing on one side. I'm not concerned about that little error I had on that top row. That'll all get fixed up in time, I promise. When you get up to the top, look, you're just trying to get as much icing on as you can. When I was filming the video, I was running out of icing, so I just got as much as I could on up the top. The sides are the really important bit to get done with this tip. It just makes it so much easier. Then you switch to your spatula. Personally, I like an 8-inch straight spatula for doing the sides of my cakes. That's personal preference. You can use a crank or an offset spatula if you'd like. You can use a larger one, you can use a smaller one. It's personal preference. So now we're just starting to smooth out the icing. Again, I have this little imperfection, not concerned, it'll get covered. You just work slowly, and if you pick up any crumbs on your spatula or your palette knife, clean it off straight away. So at the moment we're just smoothing out the surface, we're not going for perfection. You can put your excess icing on the top if you need more, or you can scrape it into your bowl. Once the sides are looking pretty good, then you're going to start smoothing out the top, and what you're wanting to achieve here is to get the icing on the top of the cake physically attached to the icing on the side of the cake so it all sticks together. If you have any air gaps at that point, it makes it really difficult to smooth because the icing just doesn't want to come into contact with itself. So now we're just going to do a very rough smoothing with the spatula, making sure we've got things reasonably neat. Then I'm going to switch to my scraper, and we're going to start working on the sides. Now, the basic idea with this technique with the scraper is you're taking small amounts of excess icing off with each pass, which gives it a smooth finish. I sped this part of the video up because I do not like boring people. If you've been in my classes, you'll know I get frustrated when things take me time. So I'm just working alternately on the sides and the top, and you'll always get that last little piece of icing that either sits over the edge or sits above the top, and it's just a matter of getting them both to where you can, the top and the side, as good as you can, and then we'll come in with our small spatula in a moment and finish it off. The icing consistency for icing a cake should be a fairly thin consistency, and if you want a very smooth creamy finish, you want to be using a high fat content icing. The more fat, the smoother it goes on. So here I am just fixing up the fine details with the small palette knife or spatula, and then just coming to do the last little fixes with the small scraper. I always have a clean tool on hand